Lisa, can you start out talking about just the impact your D's had, not only offensively, but the physicality and the identity they're helping to develop with the team from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I just think they're playing the game right. They're committed to getting stops in their D zone. It's helping us get up ice, and all the offense has been great lately, but they're doing it the right way. They're joining the rush properly. They're predictable and simple in the O zone. It's nothing drastic. It's just, I think, them playing the right way and them getting rewarded with our 5-on-5 game.
You decked out in your red and black here tonight. What's your thought?
I think they're awesome. I think it's neat. I think the word the coaches used was eye-popping. So, yeah, I like them.
Hey, Derek, just to follow up on the defense question, with Sherrod, how important has it been just the physicality and just the abrasiveness that he's brought, that element of being harder to play against?
Yeah, we're 20 games in now. These new additions, new free agents, you get a feel. They all felt like good additions and impactful immediately, but Ben, something we don't have. Not only is he hard and he gives us a little of that in game, he's brought that in practice. He's brought a little bit of a culture of just being hard and physical, and it's helped our game. He's kind of brought our other guys into the fight, I feel, a little bit. So, yeah, so far so good, been a huge impact.
What's the belief in the room that you guys can keep this together and be a playoff team or a playoff race team with Gary Manning?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if belief in the room is, I know it's going to sound like a cliche, but they've been so caught up in just trying to do things right and be in the midst of our process, and even judging ourselves on a really good 3-0 win versus Nashville. Our 5-on-5 game wasn't very good. We talked about some things. I thought we improved on them a little bit last game. So, I don't know how realistic, talking about playoffs are right now. Again, not to discredit our group. They've gotten everything they've deserved up to this point. It's more of where this Eastern Conference is. I mean, it's going to take 100+ points, the way it's trending, to get in the playoffs right now. So, yeah, I don't know if it's a belief thing. We haven't really talked about it. We're having success right now because we are focused on our day-to-day.
What stands out to you about the challenge presented by Mitch Marner right now?
Just all their elite talent. What I've been most impressed with watching Toronto of late is their ability to play the right way. Very impressive what they're doing with the D-core that they've lost. We're going through it on the front end. We went through some games, literally 6 of our top 8 were out, but it's a lot different losing guys on the back end. One thing, knock on wood, we've been pretty fortunate about with our group is being healthy on the back end. What they're doing is pretty impressive. So I think they're committed to playing the right way, and it's almost like our 5-on-5 offense with our D. Now you get this world-class talent. And Toronto, of course, I think everyone looks at the 3-4 difference makers, arguably 3 or 4 of the top 20, 25 forwards in the entire league. But their depth's a lot better than you think. They can skate, they can compete. I saw it firsthand in the playoffs last year. I think the overall, Mitch Marner won, but the overall challenge of just playing an elite team that's playing very well right now.
Does it look different than that playoff team last year you faced?
No, and I think it's a compliment to them in that they're, again, having success because they're playing the game right. I think the most recent winning they've done, it's because they're giving up 2 goals, 1 goal, 3 goals. It's about what they've kept out of the net more than putting in the net. So, and that's what we saw in the playoffs last year. That was a very committed team to doing the right thing. So, yeah, no, I don't think it's a lot different than what we saw in the playoffs last year, but I think that's a compliment because that was a really good team in the playoffs last year, playing the right way.
What have your conversations been like with Ned? Obviously, him and Billy came in and were pretty open about it. They were going to kind of each have an open opportunity. Billy has run with it. And it's been about 3 weeks or now since Ned's been played. What are your conversations like with Ned to help him stay on track?
Yeah, trying to be consistent with our communication, and we do every practice pregame. We let both goalies know, probably a little further with Ned. control the things you can control, and that'll be your next start. It was pretty consistent all along that he would see some time over this homestand, and that's not going to change. He'll probably get one of the next 2 games. I don't know which one yet. It might depend on how tonight goes, but just communicate. He's been absolutely professional. I think he's working on getting his own game in order also.
I know it was this Steve is the one that brings guys in. What's the other conversation about that as well, or is that a Steve conversation?
No, absolutely. We talked to all 3 goalies. We're very clear with the current expectations and how it could change. Again, we had the roster spot. I think we were looking for organizational depth throughout. I don't even know so much that 2 spot where, maybe we can look at some depth in that 3 or 4 spot too. And he became available. It just made sense.
What do you appreciate about the way Seider approaches the game? Just talking to him, he seems really confident. And just wondering, we see on the ice, but what do you appreciate about his approach?
I think for him, it's just his winning habits. It was a tough situation for him. He had such a great year last year, but a lot of that was in that they were out of it. I don't know if there was. It's different what you're playing for. We've tried to emphasize playing the right way, and he's done that. You don't see risk in this game. You don't see those egregious turnovers. I don't think he gets enough credit of how he eats pucks, blocks pucks, how he wins battles. That's what ultimately is going to help us win as a group. And I know even early on, which is understandable, young D's, judging himself on offense. Very emotional. I mean, he left a couple games early on. That cost us the entire game on one turnover or a play he made. I can remember the play. He's like, I lost us the game. But that's the passion that you want. I mean, you can develop the other things, but that passion's a special spot. And he's in a really good spot with this game right now. And again, I think he's starting to appreciate the non-offensive things in this game and getting excited about that. Credit to Bob Bugner developing him. And I think we talked about Ben Sherratt. I think it's been a perfect example for him. Ben's seen what winning looks like and what it takes.
How's Rodick's defensive game?
Good. I think the 5-on-5 plays really good. I think what I talked about, that offense coming from our defense, it's done because they're just spending less time in their zone. And he's one of those guys. I think Ole Mata's helped him. We've had a good, strong top 4. And a credit to Ole and Ronick of late is they've been getting first-line matchups where probably over the first 15, 16 games, it was only Mo and Ben. So I think that's a credit to them and where their game's at.
The fans have really been electric lately. How much does the team feed off of that?
Good. We talked about coming into this season taking home ice very seriously. What is our home record? 17-2. You were ready. You guys were fumbling last time I saw that. If we're going to be successful, like any good team, Toronto's sitting here, one of the best win percentage in the league. I guarantee they've taken care of home ice. It's just good teams do that. And we put emphasis on it, how important it is, how it can be a home ice advantage. And for the most part, we've had a pretty good game at home.